Welcome to the Morning Mist 99 Above and Beyond Schizophrenia. My name is Paul, and that spells small. Know what I mean? Words of meaning. So, I want to update something or touch on something that I talked about in my previous video, a certain aspect of it, which was what would I do if the voices were to come back? Now, I've talked about what I would do in that previous video, but there's something that I didn't bring up, and perhaps it was good that I didn't bring it up because it would make the video longer. Not something that I wanted to do, but so I thought I'd make a video touching this, right? Because I've actually had, and this is something I've seen people. It's a question that multiple people have asked me on different occasions, and there was a time, right, when I was in my early days with schizophrenia. I used to go to church, and I used to, do all that, and I used to suffer with these thoughts, right? These repetitive, intrusive thoughts, and this was before hospitalizations and things, before all hell broke loose, before my 40-day fast and all that stuff. But I used to have these repetitive, intrusive thoughts, and they were blasphemous in nature. I used to go all day, and the voices would say, curse God, curse God, curse God, curse God, every freaking minute, every second. All right. From the moment I woke up to the moment I went to bed, that's what I heard. Right. It was aggravating. It was frustrating. It nearly broke me, man. No, it did break me. I broke down a lot of times, and I couldn't talk to anybody about it because I was also still had that delusion that people were witches, and even the people I went to church with, I couldn't trust any of them, so I couldn't talk to anybody about it. And there was one time I was talking to somebody for a conversation. Like, I could never really have a full conversation with people because I would always just be back in my mind and trying to come to the forefront, right? Come to the, in the present. And it felt like I was a fly caught in a spider's web. And the more I tried to get out, the more I tried to wriggle and wrestle and free myself, the more entangled I became, the more tied up I became. And I didn't know how to handle that, right? I just couldn't function well, and I was suffering like that, and nobody knew, right? Nobody knew what the hell I was going through, right? I didn't tell anybody. But there's one time I was praying, and I was lying down in my mom's place in my room on the floor. I was lying with my face down. I was praying, and I was just pleading with God. I was always praying for God to deliver me. I was pray all the time, and I'd plead, and still happened. And there's one day I was down there praying, and I saw this vision, right? I saw this vision, and I saw this being descending down, and there's this dark circle, like it's a pit, and this thing just descended right into this pit. And when that happened, the voice stopped. Everything stopped. And I was like, total quiet. First time in maybe over a year, right? Absolute quiet in my mind. I could just hold my thoughts and nothing, right? I was happy, right? I was freaking happy. Oh, I was rejoicing, man. I was thanking God. I was feeling good. Throughout the day, however, right? Listen, the problem when you are struggling with something like this for such a long period of time, and I say maybe just over a year, but it's was so like throughout the day, every day, over 365 days, right? That's like, felt like years, right? So I was conditioned to have these thoughts playing, right? And now I was separated from it. I didn't know how to function, right? I didn't know how to keep my mind sturdy. I started to wonder, is it gone? Is it really gone? One thing I learned over the years, those who wonder, 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 WANDER. When you wonder, WANDER, you're lost, right? I know there's a saying that not all who wonder are lost, right? But when you're doing this kind of wandering, it's because you're lost. You don't know what to do. And what happens when you are in this kind of mental space, you end up right back into the thing that you came out of, right? It's like the prisoner who escapes jail, don't know where the heck they're going, confused. They end up walking right back to the jail they friggin' got broken out of. That's what happened to me. I began to wonder, is it gone? And I started to, like I was saying, I was conditioned to always hear that. So now my mind started to repeat that, because I just didn't know how to carry on. I've been hearing that for so long, and then I'm on my guard. I was so afraid of it. That I kept looking over my shoulder for it. And as I looked over my shoulder, it kept, anticipating it coming back. That's the word. I kept anticipating the same thing. And sure enough, it came right back in full force and in full effect, right? And it tore me down for years after that. I would not get another opportunity again, and for years, right? And that's what happens when, if you're free from something, you believe it, you accept it by faith, you be thankful, and you focus on life in front of you, not life behind you, right? Because the thing that you've been freed from is going to be right behind you, waiting for you to give it an opening, right? So you have to keep a guard at the door. You have to have faith that you are free, and keep your eyes on the road ahead of you. Don't wonder. Don't wonder if it's gone. Don't wonder if it's going to come back. Don't wonder. Don't do that, right? You just keep moving. You keep walking, and you keep moving, and you keep growing, and you build yourself up, right? Because if you do not have that faith, if you do not believe, you're going to start to look back, and you're going to start to be afraid, and you will end up right back in it. But you have to accept your new, if you find yourself in a new situation, new condition, accept it and live your life in peace. because you can always return. It was, it's about 10 minutes. It was a long time since I got another opportunity, and I did get another opportunity, and it was also instructional opportunity again for me, and I want to talk about that maybe in another video, because it's already over 10 minutes and I don't want to go too long. But I was going through a really difficult time. I was in like psychosis pretty much. I was just a freaking mess. All right, the next time things came, an opportunity came, an instructional lesson for me, I was a complete mess. And but I learned a lot after coming through that. And but anyway, I'll talk about that next time. So yeah, later.